Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tableau Live. This is Boulder Insights' way of giving back to the data analytics and visual analytics community. We meet once a month to answer your questions live and do our best to see if we can answer them for you. If we can't, we'll always try to work with you afterwards. Sometimes they're not a quick question that can be answered in our Tableau Live sessions, but this is our April session and we're thrilled to have you here. I'm in Colorado, and Chris Cox is our, we used to call him in our Tableau user groups, the chump. We would try to stump the chump. And so this is essentially what you're going to be doing today. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, and it's snowed here. So we have this beautiful spring snow. Chris, I don't know what the weather's like in Charlotte for you, but I have a feeling you weren't shoveling off your car this morning like I was.
No, I was not. It's actually nice. Nice here for sure.
All right. Okay. So Musa, I don't know if it's a question that came up, but you purchased Tableau Online, but you're not able to use it. Would you like us to demo Tableau Online a little bit for you right now on the call, or is that?
We have that anymore either.
Okay.
With the, well, I can check real quick. I know with the, with the change to the partner thing, we keep getting locked out.
Got you.
So,
right.
And I just checked and we're actually down again.
Okay.
But for some reason, they actually changed things up with the new like a partner agreement. So for some reason, our old site isn't up anymore. I don't know why.
Okay, we'll have to
Can you
troubleshoot that
hear
too.
me?
Yes, we can, Musa. Go ahead.
All right. Hello, everyone. Actually, I didn't ask the right question. We've been using Tableau Desktop for about 2 years now. And we are in the process of migrating from one software vendor to another one. And the Tableau Desktop version that we're currently using, it is through a third vendor. So about a month ago, we decided to buy Tableau Online through Tableau. And since we purchased Tableau Online, we haven't been able to use it because we have different database environments and we haven't been able to initiate any connection. So our account manager tried to actually help us. And I don't think it's been really successful because we still cannot use it. So they told us that we needed to purchase download Tableau Desktop. And I did that the other day. And through Tableau Desktop, I'm able to create connection with the databases successfully. But I do not know how I can access or even create workbooks using Tableau Online.
Yeah.
Really, pardon my ignorance here. Maybe there is something I'm not doing right, but at this point, I'm really confused.
Yeah, it's probably this so what it is. Here, let me ask this. So here, let me open up a RxU server. So it's really no extra difference. So if you had your own like Tableau server, let me just go to a site here real quick. So what would happen is if you want to actually create actually something on the server, then the first thing you have to do is actually publish this whole data source up there. So if you already have your data source published to Tableau Online, then what you should be able to do is like this one is published. So I could actually create, create like something new. So you either create the workbook in Tableau Desktop or you publish the data source to the server. And so once you do that, then you can create these here. Does that make sense?
I think, yeah, I see what you're doing. And I believe that's what I tried to do. I guess the confusion that I'm having right now is via the Tableau Desktop, I was able to create the connections to the databases.
Yep.
So I'm able to create the workbooks. Everything is working perfectly on that end.
Yep.
Now with Tableau Online, my understanding was that I could create, I could actually access those workbooks via the Tableau Online.
Yeah. So, but you have to actually publish them up there. So if I was to say, I don't know what I have open here. Let me just open up a new one. So So if I was to create a new like a workbook, so I'm doing it here in this desktop, right? So I'm creating a new, I'll just connect to a Superstore, create an extract, do the same thing I just did. So product, subcategory, and profit. Okay, so you actually build it here. Now, if I want to publish this up to server, then I got to go publish. And so for yours, you're just going to put in like to Tableau. You're gonna log in that way. So you'll say sign in to a server. And so here you're going to sign in to actually to Tableau Tableau online. So that link right there. So once you do that, then you'll sign in here, and then that will push that up to the online version.
Okay.
That can be confusing, Musa. You're not alone. I often teach. I'm the a certified Tableau trainer. We have a whole team of trainers, and we teach how to build things in Tableau Desktop, but we don't often at the end of class teach you how to publish. And so that's one of those things that can be a little bit tricky. So once you create it in Desktop, the key is that you'll sign into your server, your online server, like Chris showed you. You'll publish that. And then if you are trying to share it with colleagues, they would also have to have access somehow to Tableau Online. They may be an explorer, they may be a viewer with the licenses that they have with Tableau Online. So that might be something a little bit different as well. So yeah, hopefully that helps. And you can, once you're in Tableau Online or in Tableau Server, it's a little different interface than Tableau Desktop. So for you, you probably want to be creating, since you have Tableau Desktop, you'll probably want to create your items in Tableau Desktop and then publish to server. You can also, with Tableau Desktop, that means you have what's called a creator license. That means you can also create data sources for people. So you can do all of your prep of your data sources and publish those as well. So Chris, could you show just by right clicking on My Superstore, the data connection, you do also have an option where you can right click and say publish to server. You could publish only the data source. And so if you do have users at your company that are explorers and not desktop users, they can only create workbooks from sources that are published to Tableau Server. And you would be at your company, we would call you here, we would call you the GGTK, the good guy to know, or the good gal to know at your company, that you're creating the data sources for people to connect to. You're creating the workbooks that they can explore and view and interact with. The explorers can create additional workbooks connecting to data that's been published. And the viewers can only connect to workbooks that have been published, and they can't create anything new. They can view them, they can interact with them. Another cool feature, Chris, I believe Tableau Online also has Ask Data. Is that correct for Tableau Online, or is that only in Tableau Server?
So. No, I think it actually should.
So another cool feature Chris is going to show here with Ask Data, that if you have resources that have been published, that you've published data sources, people can come in and just ask questions this way. So, they can't talk to it, but they have to type it in. But like, what's our sum of profit by region? They can type in that question, and this answer will be generated and we'll show them in a visualization. So there's a lot of power having Tableau Online at your fingertips. That should be helpful. But not knowing how to get things onto Tableau Online, that's not helpful, right? So hopefully you can try some of those pieces on your own. If you'd like to have some support too, each Tableau Live session, we give away some free time with Chris. So you might be one of the people that wins that free time too, or I'll show you at the end of the call how you can schedule time with Chris as well, that we can, or me or someone on our team to try to help you through those steps with it. So it's a great question, Musa, because I have a feeling you are not the only person out there that has purchased Tableau. It's kind of like, I have Tableau, but now what do I do, right? So hopefully that helps. So thank you. I will do that. That's great. And I'm getting a question from Azinwa. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly too. How much do Tableau personal classes cost? So are you talking, I think you might be talking the training courses for Tableau?
Yes.
Yep, go ahead and tell me how to pronounce your name properly too.
Sure, it's pronounced Zinwa, and
Zinwa.
yes. And I heard that you teach some courses. So is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So we, as a company, we have a team of Tableau trainers on our team. So we teach all of the Tableau desktop courses that they offer as well. So we can, I can show you where those are. But then we also are starting to do some custom trainings ourselves as a company too. There's lots of things that we love about the trainings that we teach that are Tableau written curricula. We're certified to teach all of those. So I can pull up, let me share my screen and I'll kind of show you how you get to those courses. If you go to tableau.com, I can show you the listing of all of the courses. So if you look at resources and you go to Learn Tableau, you zoom in here, you'll see that there's some free training videos. That's one of the first places I would send people. Then there are learning paths and some e-learning options. So let's first start with the free training videos. So for those of you that are looking for ways to learn Tableau, these are really fantastic videos. You don't need to pay for these at all. These actually are free. What you do want to do is to make sure as you're looking at these videos and following them, so let's say that I would want to understand relationships a little bit better. When you click into these, you will have to sign in, create a sign in to the Tableau site. And then once you do that, you'll notice that there are resources that are below here. But if I click watch now, I'll click watch now for a second and then I'll pause it. You'll also notice once I do that below here, and let me just get this showing up for you, you'll notice there's a data set that shows up in a solution workbook. So if you're going to watch the videos, what I recommend doing is first downloading the videos, and the solution workbook is great to have, but download the video, the data set. You'll open up Tableau and connect to it. Sometimes it will actually be a Tableau Twibix file, a packaged workbook that you'll open and follow along with. So you can watch it on one screen. If you have multiple screens, you can follow along with the other and pause. When I first started watching training videos, I didn't realize that there was a different data set. I thought it was all Superstore sales. So my screen would be expanded like this, and I had no idea that there was a data set I should be following along with. So I lost a few hours of my life I'll never get back because of that. Another thing that I often like to recommend is there is if you're really brand new to Tableau and trying to learn it, there is some great resources that are kind of hidden. They're not on the site anymore. I often recommend this, and I'll put this in the chat for everyone. These are great starter kits. So if you are, having to publish a viz, this could be really helpful. Actually, Musa, here's the Tableau Online Publish a Viz. This walks you through the steps on how to do that. So let me put that in as well. This is for Tableau Online to publish a viz. So I'll put that in the chat. Too. This link could be super helpful. I love the author of Viz one for new users because it's not just following the training videos that are in there. It's actually helping you understand by reading white papers, by watching TED Talks, Hans Rosling's TED Talk. If you haven't seen it, it is fabulous. It's one of my favorites. And I actually teach in some of our custom classes how to build out one of the visualizations that he uses in that using the world indicator data that comes from it. But it really talks about why are we even taking data and making it visual? How do I start to interact with the Tableau community? And then how do I follow which, of the training videos are a great one to start with and to have a great way to just start to understand how to use Tableau, when to use it, what charts types to use. So these are really great starter kits. So this is where I often recommend people go when you're learning. We would love to, we would love to start offering our custom courses as well to folks. So if you're interested in those, you're welcome to just let me know in this chat or to email me at heather@boulderinsight.com, and we will start to publish out to you all on our mailing list. You've found us this way. We'll be able to let you know when we're offering those. But if we get to the actual courses, oftentimes it's my team that's teaching these courses. If I go to learning paths, I think is now where you get to the videos. They've just changed the website a little bit. And so I know you could get to the courses. They have all these learning paths now. I don't know where the instructor-led training is on this new website. If anyone else on my team can help me find it, maybe the certification gets me there. But we used to be able to get you straight to registering for our classes. I will try to find that by the end of the call. I know that it does exist somewhere. I'm just not finding it in the new site right now. So my apologies. So I'll try to, yeah, I don't know why it's not easy to register for these courses. I know they're happening because my team's teaching them all the time. I have a few of them here on the call right now too. So I will try to find that link for you as well, but we would love to have the opportunity to teach you. Thank you, Timo. I don't know why I'm not seeing it on the website. That's awesome. So here we have it. So these are all of the classes that my team is certified to teach. We can do the boot camp. I will tell you, I don't recommend this. This is like drinking from a fire hose and it's just too much, too fast if you haven't used Tableau before. If you have been using it for a bit, then it's a great course for you. If you're brand new, I don't recommend that one. The Desktop 1 and 2 Accelerated is a great course. Here you can see the public schedule for it, and that's where you can get course details and register for these. If you're registering with Tableau, it's about $900 a day, I believe. If we look at this, or $800 a day per course. So this is a 3-day course, and you can see when they're offered and in your time zone. So thanks so much, Timo, for getting me that link. Fundamentals are a 2-day course, Intermediates 2-day, and Desktop 3 is a 2-day course, and then Visual Analytics and Prep. We currently aren't teaching in our house the server courses yet, but they are available through Tableau too, and it's very likely that you would get us teaching some of your classes. We teach a lot of these courses on behalf of Tableau as partners. I would recommend, if you are new to Tableau, your best bang for your buck is to take this 1 and 2 Accelerated. That saves you 1 day of cost for training, and it's still feasible to move through that course and understand things. It's a lot to take in, but that's great. Then I'd recommend taking the Visual Analytics course and perhaps Prep if you need to do Prep. I would recommend D3 after you've taken those. I often recommend by the time you're at D3 and you need to dive really deep into your calculations, we often recommend some individual coaching and mentoring first before you take that class to see if we can help you with your own data as well, because there is a big leap from training data to your own data. So coaching and mentoring is also super powerful and really needed anytime we teach with our own clients. We always recommend those individualizing coaching and mentoring sessions too. So that's great. Thank you so much for asking. I hope that answered the questions for you. Asmat, I see you have 2 or 3 questions, so we are ready to hear from you. So please feel free to ask. I'll stop sharing my screen.
All right. Hi, Heather, and hi, Chris. Thank you very much for putting this together. I recently signed up for the Tableau Desktop Spring Training Pass for 90 days.
Yes.
And I see John Rosales has joined us. So John is our instructor, doing a great, fantastic job.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
Yeah, I'm relatively new. So I guess let me start by asking a basic question. With the class and with the training, I am using my work laptop, but then my work laptop is not allowing me to install anything, the newer version. So I downloaded and installed the trial version of Tableau. And it says 14-day trial. I have already sent an email out to, I forgot the email address, but Tableau
Global
Global
services.
Yeah,
Global
Global
services at Tableau. Yeah.
It's been about 3 days or so. Today's probably the 3rd day. I haven't, haven't heard anything back from them. My request was basically that this is what's happening. My situation is I've signed up. I have 14-day trial. I need more days so that I learn. And I don't know if it's okay or not to request for that. So do you have any idea of how that works?
Chris, do you want to take that, or do you want me to?
So it's actually possible that you can get that extended. Though if you already have it on your work laptop, then you should be able to go to. Let me just show you where to go. So on your work computer, go to.
And you're not sharing your screen. Yep, there you go.
I'm
sorry. That's just my everyday. I don't share my screen, but I think I am.
Go to help. and then actually manage actually product keys. And so, so it should be that you could use this one actually twice. So for each key you can install on actually two machines. So I would say try to use your current desktop key. So when it says 14-day trial, just change that to the activate button, and then actually try actually using that same key.
So I just tried using my work laptop. I just tried following that route. I don't have that product key listed. Instead, I have what it says creator listed.
Okay, so you're on the whole. Okay, so then your actually company has actually yours actually tied to the server then.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is if Tableau is offering the 90-day course and we purchased it, I mean, it's
Yeah.
quite expensive. And then now I'm saying, okay, well, give me an opportunity to learn. Would they not?
Osman,
How
let
long
me do
would it take?
this.
Yeah.
They're usually great about responding within 24 hours. Knowing that you've just been in one of John's classes, I can reach out via Slack to the Global Services Slack channel. And let me see if I can have them extend that trial for you. So I will definitely reach out since you are definitely one of our we often talk about the best way to learn Tableau is to play with it, and the best way to play is with friends. And once you've taken one of our classes, or if you've been in one of our Tableau Live sessions, you've been one of our clients, we're your TFFs, your Tableau friends forever. So we're going to try to go to bat for you here and see what we can find out. But I will message them right now and just see, knowing that you have reached out, that you were in John's class, and see if I can get something for you to extend that trial. But you're absolutely right. I think it's a really great feedback that this is a pilot. We will also be, our company is part of this pilot. There's only a few partners that, besides the internal trainers in Tableau, that are doing these pilot spring passes right now. So we are one of the ones that have been selected. So I will just reach out to the team and see what we can get taken care of on that. But let's talk about your other two questions that you have too while you're on, and I'll work on that
so
for you.
Before I get to the Tableau related question I have, one question I have is I am actually preparing to go for a certification. I guess I'll start with the Tableau specialist and then the Tableau associate. So I understand there's like a documents out there that tells you what to look for, what to study and all that. But from a point of view of strategy of taking this exam, right? What are the insights that you have, the tips and tricks, and just some words on preparation as to don't worry about this, make sure you focus on this, etc. Anything that you could tell me about the certification?
Sure. And Timo, I'm going to put you on the spot. Timo just aced this exam. We have to take it every 2 years as trainers. But Timo, if you want to come off mute and contribute as well, I'll start with some of the information and then give you a chance. But Timo did a really great job. To be honest, there was no such thing as the specialist when we first started. So I never have taken the specialist exam. I've gone straight to the associate. With the fact that you are doing the if your company is going to pay for it, I'd say, go ahead and go for the specialist, then the associate. If you're paying for it, I might say get that D1, D2 classes under your belt, get some understanding of the tool, start building some things out, and then skip the specialist, go straight to the certified associate. But I will say
the requirement of certified associate is that you should have about 5 months of experience, hands-on experience with that. So I'm looking forward for that extra time to get some experience under my belt. In the meantime, I thought that maybe I could get the specialist one going.
It's not wrong to take the specialist one. I think that as long as, if sometimes people are on a budget and they're not sure where to spend their time, that will get you familiar with the testing. One of the things that you'll notice, and I'll go back just a slide here, just back a piece. This is the certification page in Tableau, just for everyone in the chat. And some of the things to keep in mind is that when you click on these activities for exam details, you'll get some more information about it. And I do strongly recommend downloading the prep guide. I'm in the associate. It would be the same approach for the specialist. Some of the nice things that they do is that they do have some links to, the how-to training videos we were showing. This visual analysis best practices guidebook can be helpful, but understanding the exam format, I think, is really important as well. It is 2 hours for the associate exam. You need to get a 75 to pass, and there are 36 questions. So some of the questions are going to be just knowledge-based questions. Do you know if you should do a join or a blend or a union or something in it? That it'll be questions like that that you can answer without having to build in Tableau. Other questions you're going to have to build out in Tableau when you're doing it. So one of the pieces that I recommend is you check this out, make sure you're feeling comfortable in the areas for the skills that are measured. That you also work through the sample questions that are here. This is obviously not the full exam, but I will tell you often questions very similar to this are going to be on the exam. So this is a great place to start. So you'll notice these first 3 questions, these are all knowledge-based ones. And I believe that you still are able to use, they do a virtual machine and take over your machine, but you can still even Google search. You can use, Explorer or do any browser search that you'd like to do and find answers, but you have to be quick about that. Then what I recommend is setting up a Tableau workbook when you're taking the test. This is the data set that you're going to use for practice. And I have a different tab, a different worksheet for each question. I just put 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever it is. So anything that I have to build in Tableau to be able to answer the questions, that is what happens with all of these remainder questions from here down. You're going to be having to build in Tableau to answer it. Best advice I can give is read the question very carefully. Make sure that when you're building this out, you're seeing, oh, I need to build it out for sales for home office, but make sure you also don't skip that it's for July 2012, because they will put an answer in that if you forget that, one of those answers is going to be there too. So you want to slowly read the questions and make sure that they're okay. If you take these practice exams that come with it and you don't pass them, you're not ready to take the exam. But I am going to hand this over to Timo right now because there's another source called Learning Tableau that Timo has recommended. I actually used it for my last exam, and there's some great data sources and things there. So Timo, I'm going to hand this to you. I'll put the links to the exam guide in here. The other piece of advice I would give is don't drink too many fluids before your test. Every time I have to go to the bathroom as soon as it starts. Just a little too much personal information probably, but don't hydrate too much is my other piece of advice too. So go ahead, Timo. I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, Heather covered most of it. So there's Learning Tableau as a resource you can use. It costs about $20 and it gives you practice tests. After it's purchased there. Oh, no dash, just learningtableau.com. I'd recommend using this as a resource. You pay for basically, I think it's 3 practice exams that come with it, but it gives you a lot of structured kind of work that is relatable to the test. What I'm hearing though from you before is, if you want to spend the time to get used to Tableau and actually grow your skill set before you certify, I would ask first why you think you need to certify. If it's a work-related requirement, then I'd just go ahead and do it. If you just want it to be able to say that you know how to use the software, I would probably just wait until you feel like you're ready to take that associate exam, because the specialist really, it's the people I know that have taken that through the classes I've taught. I'm one of the trainers here at Boulder Insight as well. So I've taught hundreds of people and I've only known very few of them to take that specialist. It's like a proof to your boss that you can use Tableau is kind of how I sum that first certification up. And then when you actually go up to the next steps in the ratings, then you're really showing that you know some data analytics and you can do calculations. And when Heather's thrown out tips, also calculations is the thing that I found the most success from. Tableau makes it really easy to filter things and to change your view. And you may think that you're answering a question about a certain topic, But when they're actually asking it, they intend for you to write a calculation and sort of force those results out of a calculation. And you'd be surprised, but sometimes you'll get what you think is the right answer using filters or changing the view visually. But really it's a database level calculation that they want. So if you wanted to focus on something that's kind of more complex of a concept, calculations is the thing that really stood out in the difference from when I took it 2 years ago. It's a for the one that we hold as a certified associate, it's a 2-year recycle plan. So I recently had to get my second test done recently on that. And that was the big defining difference from last time to this time was I focused more closely on those calculations. So these practice tests from Tableau, learning Tableau, can be really nice because they make you do things you may not do in your real data. And it's really actually weighted and leveraged against the Tableau separates the test into certain percentages for certain concepts. And so this practice exam is weighted in a similar way to that test as Tableau sets it out. So it's well worth the extra $20. And then as far as the exams, I think it's like $150 and $250 or something. So, you know, it's not free. So I would just make sure that whatever test you take, you kind of decide why you want that certification. If it's really to show that you're a power user of this software, I would wait until I'm ready to get that certified associate, and I'd kind of leave it at that.
So takeaways that the certified associate would be something that you should be proud of and would be really accepted in the market out there, versus
Yes.
specialist is like, okay, we see that you know it, good, but certified associate is something that holds true value.
Can I chime in as well a little bit?
Sure.
I know, Asmat, you asked a couple of these questions in class, and let me elaborate a little bit further. Like Heather had mentioned, the desktop specialist exam is relatively new. And the reason they did that was so to help people understand that you're actually diving into the knowledge base of the Tableau realm, right? It'd be the equivalent of getting a white belt in karate, right? That you carry a white belt means you're studying karate. Doesn't mean that you may have mastery yet. And the one that probably carries the most weight is the certified professional, but it is completely acceptable to have a certified associate. And I think I'm echoing what Timo was saying with regard to certified associate actually is at the minimum standard that if we were looking in the industry to see someone who had experience, they would be looking for that certification. It'd be no different than if somebody had database experience, but wasn't a DBA with credentials, right? The certified professional carries that weight. And so keep that in mind. The other thing that I know about the exams is if you take the Desktop 1 and Desktop 2 classes and you have a technical background, the likelihood is you'll be able to sit for the Desktop Specialist exam and pass it on the first go. It's not as hard an exam as the Certified Associate. And then, of course, Certified Professionals is definitely more difficult and requires a little bit more practical application of your knowledge. But I agree with Timo in that if you're really just trying to earn the credential, then I would shoot for the CA, concentrate your efforts on doing that. And your idea of gaining some time to practice with the tool is definitely going to lend itself to you being able to pass the exam.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. And with that, I have a technical question, like how to do something in Tableau.
Fantastic. Bring it on. We're ready to answer.
Okay.
So
I won't be sharing my screen because it's proprietary data for our company, but I'll describe what I'm doing and see if you could either verbally answer that, or I don't know if you want to put up some random data on your side and show it to us. So I have built, this is my first go at this. I've built a dashboard. Dashboard has a visual on top, the summary section in the middle, and the detail at the bottom. What it's doing is it has a in the x-axis, the horizontal axis, we have dates, one date a day for the last 30 days listed. And then what it's showing is is some data, like a measure, some data in there. There are two sets of data, something that is successfully done and something that was not successfully done. So something that's not successfully done is what this dashboard job is to allow the user to monitor. Now, for the most part, everything is good. It's all looking, blue, which is basically a success. The other color, one-offs is the problem. So in order to see that one-offs is a problem among the whole thing, like the whole thing looks like a blue and you're barely able to see the red if there's a problem. So there's a filter, of course, in there that you can use, but then in the summary section, here's my technical Tableau question that I wanted to see if you can answer. What I want to see is the date, which is on the x-axis on the horizontal tab, to appear red if there's a situation or condition where that failure is there. Even if it's one, more than 0 failures there, the date would appear red color. How would you make that happen, that one affects the other? If you want me to elaborate further, let me know. Otherwise,
Chris, do you want to try to take that one? Let me see. Oh, you're on mute.
Sorry. I was talking. All right. Yeah, I think so. So share my screen. So what I would do is I would have, let's just say that I'm trying to think of something to do here, but I guess what I would do is so you're not going to be able to color the date, but what I would do is this. I would just create a one calc and put it on a different, do it as a dual axis here. Let's put this back to a line on this one.
okay, that's a great idea. To just put on a dual axis. Okay.
Yeah. So what I would do is this. I would do a dual axis, and then for this other one, let me actually let's do this. Let's do let me try to find a date really quick. So let me order date. Let's get my order dates. Exact date. Discrete. So I'm just going to cheat here for a second. So I'm just going to grab a few of these. Okay. Copy. I think that'll let me do that. Calculated field. Yep. So if date equals, I have to do this. And one. If, oops. I think this is gonna work, but we'll see.
Asmat, while he's doing that, I just wanted you to know I have heard back from my the Global Services team Slack channel, and they said they can absolutely extend that and that they'll be reaching out shortly. So hopefully you'll hear from them.
Sounds good. That's great. Would they be able to locate my email, or?
I already gave it to them from your registration for the Tableau Live. I had that already downloaded,
Awesome.
so I think they should be good.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm glad I attended this session here.
We're glad you're here too.
Hang on a second. I got to make this to be. I think I got to do this. Sorry, I'm trying to go fast. But kind of the thought is what you'll do is you're gonna create something that's gonna say, well, if so in your situation you'd say you would actually have the date show up that had the problem, right? So if it's this date, then what's going to happen is on your bar chart on the secondary axis, what I would do is I would do this one as a dual axis. Let's just do minimum for now. Well, don't do that. I would have one be do a dual axis, and then have your secondary chart be this bar. And so have that in the background. And so the thought is that each time there was an issue, you'd have some bar that would go the full length. So you wouldn't do a sum, you would just do like a max or whatever. It would just be, why is that doing that? Oh, I did maximum profit, sorry. I meant to be on this one. Or a min or whatever, doesn't matter. And so then now this one would go the entire thing. So you add your reference, or not reference line. But so the thought would be is that this would just show up in kind of the background. Does that make sense? So if this date had an issue, then you would just see a bar there, and so that would fit actually behind that mark. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So yeah, that would be how I would do it. Because you're not gonna be able to make this be anything, but then you could, if you wanted it to be red, you could. So yeah.
Yep, I'll give that a shot. Thank you.
Okay.
And one more quick question. I know we're running out of time. What if the user says, look, I don't want to look at this dashboard every day. I know it's my monitoring tool. It's been 90 days or whatever, 3-4 months that nothing has changed. And they're just monitoring for bad data to come in. Let me know, is there a way to alert me if the data changes? And data changes mean in the dashboard, you will see an additional row from the previous time if there's a bad data in there. They're simply refreshing every day and looking at it. Is there a way that they will be notified if the backend data changes, which affects the dashboard?
Yeah, there is. Well, it's not the back end data changes. What you'd have is you could set up this whole like alert. Let me do that. Let me create a dashboard from here. So new workbook, right? So if I create profit and sales or whatever, so this is my different axis, whatever. So if I had something that's a problem, so if I save this, save as test or alert. Okay. This is not something that we do often, but so I can find it. Where did I put it? Alert. That's fine. Doesn't matter. But you can set up. You can set up these actually alerts here, so you can create what you want. So if it's something that you got to select the axis. So this axis, you're going to create this alert. So if this value is greater than something or other, then you're going to do actually something with it, right? So you would just have your axis that is, so if it changes, if it's over a certain amount, you would just set it here and it would go to actually me. Does that make sense?
So, sort of. So what we have here, the situation on my end is that, the problem date will appear. Otherwise, you will see the last date the problem was there. So if you're saying that maybe I can use the date field to see if the date is greater than that particular date, or maybe just say if it's greater than last 2 days or so.
No, so you probably want to create. So I'd probably create a something that says if in the last day, if this number is yes, kind of actually hard actually to do without having your data. But I think I would just say something like you would just have some actually field that would either show or not show, right? So you would have you'd say yeah, here, I mean, just actually do actually this. So if you're so if you had like a sum of your problems, right? Because you're either going to have a value or not, right?
Right, given the date. So you will see a date, and then you will see a list of rows with problems. So it's just to simplify that, I have a date, say for example, December 25th, for example, and then here's the problem, right? And now the person is looking at it every day. Well, is there a new date that came yesterday or today, or and so on? Every day doing it. Well, I don't want to do it. I just tell me or alert me if there's a new date of yesterday or today,
Right.
that
So
a new record will
you would
appear
have one, so you would
in
have
that
one
dashboard.
graph that would just be set like this. So this one, you're going to have an alert for this one to be actually on you one, and then you would have this field to be, you know, only the last day, right? So if it's blank, it's going to be 0. If so, in the last day, if it has 1, then it's going to show up. So then you publish this to server. It's either blank or it's like you filled. And so then the same way I was doing here on server, you would go to that graph and you would set this alert to say if it's equal to 1 or not. But either this page is going to be blank or it's going to be populated.
And then they'd know to go to the full dashboard, Chris, that would be
Yeah.
a sheet within that dashboard. Does that make sense, Ozma?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. All right. I'll give that a shot. Thank
Great
you.
questions.
Yeah, it's
So we
very-
have about 10 minutes left. Is there anyone else that has a question that they'd like to ask of us? That's what we're here for. And Clay, we will get to your question next time for sure. We need to dive into that a little deeper so we can answer that.
Yeah, so I actually went and looked real quick. It doesn't seem like it's anything crazy. It's just this. You just take. So it looks like in the new version, it's going to just right that's actually for you.
Oh,
Right? Drag your measure on top of a dimension, and it's going to create it for you.
so for those of you wondering what the question was, we'll see if I think Chris, do you want to share your screen of what you've seen of anything?
Thought I was sorry.
I know. So the question from Clay that came in was, if you get a chance, can you go over the new LOD calculation that's out there? So there's some new feature that we have not used yet. So, but Chris is checking it out.
It looks like it's just this. And you just take some like you measure, and then you drag it right on top of a dimension, and so then that's going to create this
Oh,
like for you. So
so
I
it
mean,
creates the LOD by a drag and drop, kind of like how we would be creating a hierarchy.
Right.
But we're doing a measure on top of a dimension is what I'm seeing. Interesting.
So.
John or Timo or any of you, if you've used it and you have anything else to add, feel free to tell us. But we'll try to look into this for next Tableau Live 2 and see if there's any other cooler things that need to be shown. But that is nice. So it's a quick LOD, which is interesting. When I first started in Tableau, it's funny, you talk in Tableau as you become part of the community of like, what version did you start in? Is kind of like where it starts with people. And Chris, what version did you start in? You don't even remember. I think you were like 2.0 or something, huh?
I don't know. 4G5, I think.
I started in 8.3. And so, there was no such thing as an analytics pane, for instance, when I started in 8.3, but it came out in version 9. And so it used to be called quick filters, and now it's just called show filters. So it looks like this quick LOD is something that's come out through the community as well. So it's nice that it's this drag and drop option. And we'll try to come up with some additional pieces. So we've got just 5 minutes left. If anyone has a question, we'd love to hear it. If not, I'm going to walk you through just some ways that you can keep in touch with us. But let me just pause for a minute and see if anyone else has a question that they would like answered. All right. Well, let me just show you a few things. You still have time. You can put it in chat or come off mute. But just want to make sure that you know that questions arise after class. The minute that we stop this webinar, you all are going to be like, oh, I just thought of one that I want answered. So if that happens, the good news is you're not alone. Once you've become connected with us, like I said, we're your TFFs, your Tableau friends forever here at Boulder Insight. What we have is boulderinsight.com questions. This form I put into chat. I'm going to do that again for you. Anytime questions come up between our Tableau Live sessions, go ahead and ask them of us. It goes directly into a Slack channel that our whole team has access to. That's called training questions. And so questions that we get from you all. So we will do our best to try to answer them via that. If it's a simple question, if it takes more time, then what we would do is perhaps cover that in the next Tableau Live session, or we would say, hey, why don't we get some time on the calendar together as well. And so as we look at that, that's one way to keep in touch. If you do need to get more time on the calendar and you know it's a complex question, if you go to boulderinsight.com, any of the spots on any of the pages, you'll notice there is this little red button that's down at the bottom. So I'm realizing I don't think I have my tool on to draw on with it. So what you'll do is you'll go down here, click on that pill. That will get you time with Chris on the calendar. So the first 15 minutes, if it's just a 15-minute kind of conversation, we can help answer that. As you start moving into the other sessions, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, these are paid sessions, but we do give one away every time that we have a session. So we will be announcing a winner in the next, probably early next week. That winner will be announced on who got the free mentoring session with Chris. But you can also do that. Sometimes the hours of your life that you spend trying to search and solve on your own, Chris can get you there a whole lot faster. And if it's a specific training question, then we'll assign you to someone else on our team as well. But we usually start with Chris to start to tackle those questions. And then finally, I wanted to make sure you all know that we do have the opportunity to help you really streamline your designs for Tableau. We find that when we teach classes, anytime we work with our clients, we are really fortunate that we have a really brilliant team of UI, UX designers, user interface, user experience, graphic designers on our team. And we rarely ever will do a white dashboard. We tend to take our clients, their information, and we create these beautiful Tableau templates that are in the background that we then drag and drop our workbooks that we have created into these background images that you can put in. So if you ever want to play around with those, we have some that are 99 cents that you can check out. And you'll notice that the more paid versions that are $99, they will give you all of these layouts then. And so you'll notice left navigation that's in them. You'll notice too that we have not a whole lot of charts on everyone. So new users often will try to put every worksheet they've ever created into one place. So Tableau templates is a great place to go. And the other cool thing that's on here is we have some really cool merch. So I'm a big fan of this hoodie because I own it, that says Data Badass, and it's a nice ninja girl. So we consider ourselves to be ninjas of our data, and we want you to be able to do that as well. So some cool shirts and things that you can check out. So just a shameless plug for our cool swag that we've created as well. And to apply for the free session, you already did by registering here today. That's how you apply. And I'm seeing Musa, a question if we can help you after the session today. I go directly into a coaching session, so I cannot, but we will reach out to you via email and try to find some time. Chris, I don't know what your schedule looks like right after this as well, but Musa, I do have your email information, so we'll reach out to you and try to get some time on the calendar and see what we can do to support you a little bit more as well. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of spring. Remember, we are here to help you. Keep your questions coming, and we will continue to do our best to get the answers to you. So we really appreciate that you're joining us. We'd love to know how you found us as well. I know, for instance, some of you came from our classes, others might have come from social media and things. So once you have joined these classes, we'll keep them coming. And the great news is the registration and Zoom link. You will register each time for the class, but the Zoom link is the same for each first Friday of the month. So the good news is we're only a couple weeks away from that next one. So I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful weekend. We've loved having you all here, and thank you for joining us today. And we hope that we'll see your faces again and hear your questions again next month. So take care, everybody. Have a great one.